Welcome, gentlemen. Black man, welcome, black man. We about to go into this thing today. Man, Jess, I want to see who's here. Obviously, we got folks on YouTube as well as Facebook and others. If you're here, please also, if you're here, if you can also make sure you please share it on your Facebook page, on your YouTube. Let people know on your Instagram, wherever you are. Hey, I'm here, Dr. Marlon in the building. Welcome, gentlemen. We're about to get started in this, man. Really kind of go in. This is going to be a really special lesson. This is what really special as far as you're concerned, what I would call it's kind of a session for us, right? It's a session for us. It's one of those special things. Like, I can't have this conversation, right, unless it's really just us. All right, Tracy, what's going on? Tracy's here. I can't have this conversation unless it's us. You know what I mean? So because it's us having this conversation, I can have this conversation. If it wasn't us, I couldn't really have it. But please, real quickly, if you can share, put it on Facebook that we're live, put it on your Instagram or on your YouTube. Let everybody know you're live. And I know we're sending out some messages. But real quickly, as we get started, always like to get started with some sports news. As we kind of do this thing, I got to tell you, I think as we were talking, I think I told him, man, Jason Tatum, LeBron, they all came out strong last week. They came out strong. I think they're ready to kind of go the extra mile. Well, super happy about, man, just, really happy. I love what's happening in the NBA right now for our brothers over in the motherland, over West. I mean, as the NBA Africa is moving. Actually, I did have a conversation with the head of NBA Africa about some of the expansion that's happening. But the NBA is getting real interesting. You got like a new generation coming along. Then you got, kind of the guys, Steph Curry, LeBron, some of the others who've been around a while. I think this Denver, I don't know what you guys brothers feel, but I think this Denver Lakers series is going to be very interesting. I think the Heat versus Boston is going to be super interesting to see what Jimmy Butler do. Jimmy Butler's kind of in the middle. He's a veteran, right? But he ain't like LeBron and them. But he's like, he's older than, Brown and Tatum and all the rest of those guys. So we're going to see how that shape out. But I'm just curious for the finals. Let me know who you got in the finals real quick. Let me know who you got in the finals. I'm curious who you have in the finals. So let me know who you have in the finals. Who you got? I'll let you guys know at the end. But real quick in the chat, let me know who you have in the finals. And also for those that are just joining us, please please share. It's important. The algorithms on YouTube, Facebook, and the others, it means that the content just reaches more people, right? So please share, right? Share the link or share what you're watching or however you're doing it. Please share it as more people come in and do it. But I'm just curious. So I got Tracy, they got the Lakers. Somebody got Miami, Denver. Man, Dr. Marlon, you got Miami. I don't know anybody has said that. But I know you down from Florida, so I know you a Miami fan. But remember, Jimmy Butler was a Chicago guy first. Right? Jimmy Butler was a Chicago guy first. But look, I love Miami, man, what they've done with the team, how they've, what I'm saying? Like, they wear pink and they wear proud down there. But super excited about what they're doing. So anybody else got anything? I got Lakers, I got Miami, got Denver. Anybody else got any predictions on the finals? Who's going to take it all? I got a prediction, but I'm going to wait for my prediction. I have an analytical prediction on this, but I'm going to wait for it as more people come into the room as we talk about some specific things important to us. We get into that. So real quickly, I had a time today. This type of stuff, I wish, as brothers that, you have to get involved in, just to say, right? You do have to get, even though you're in business, many of us are in business, we're working for our families. We do have to get involved in a lot of some of the politics that exists in the community, but also in our cities. If we don't represent, again, we don't have to become political. We don't have to be all that, but we do have to be involved in the politics, especially because capital also helps move politics as well, as you know. Today we had to celebrate. I helped, the new mayor of Chicago, get elected, raise some money for him, did some stuff. So we had an inauguration today of the new mayor of Chicago. It was a beautiful thing. Him, his wife, his three beautiful, just a beautiful black family representing Chicago. He comes right from the block, and he's going to really try to move that needle and make some change with some, as you guys know, I mean, you guys hear on the news, but some of the youth violence, some of the unemployment, all that kind of stuff happening, particularly in our communities. And so it's a lot of expectation, a lot of looking forward to, how these numbers move this summer. But I'm really proud of the brother, making a move and doing some things that just is super exciting. All right, super exciting. All right, so look, we're not going to take super long tonight. We're going to jump into it. Everybody who's here, I know we got some text going out, but please make sure you are sharing. Please like. If you have not subscribed also on YouTube, go to your YouTube right now if you can. Go to your YouTube, and if you can, for me, if you can hit subscribe on YouTube, because we have a lot of people watching on YouTube. We need folks to subscribe. We're almost at about 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Once we get that, it also assists in kind of some things that we're doing as well. So please go subscribe on YouTube, as well as obviously follow us on Facebook and also Instagram. We're trying to build up, kind of the social media to make the platform what it is today. All right, so look, we're going to talk about three things, but I'm going to get into one. We're going to have this in a series. Again, this is one of those things that is what I call for us and by us. This is one of those things that is definitely for us and by us, right? And so that's what I'm telling you. Please share, hit a brother up, let somebody know to come in the room, because we're going to get into some deep things tonight for us and by us. And we're going to talk about Black tax, the Black identity, and also Black opportunity, okay? Black tax, Black identity, and Black opportunity, right? So let me go through this real quickly. All right. Oh, that's why I have multiple markers. We got the Black tax. We're also going to talk about opportunity a little bit, but we're going to do that more in a series, and identity. I actually did this. All right. Black tax, opportunity, identity. All right. Please forgive me the volume. I'm telling you this volume up so everyone can hear me. Right. If you can hear me, let me know I can hear you. Just in the chat real quick so I can hear you. And we're going to go through this. Now, I have my team in the back. Now, look, we always hear about things like the wealth gap. We hear about things like income gap. Now, this is persistent. And again, that's why I want to go through identity and opportunity. But I want to talk about what I call the tax, right, that exists for us, that exists in our communities, in our careers, and what we do. And remember, I'm not talking about this in the light of, right, us feeling bad for ourselves or asking someone else to do something else for us. I'm speaking about this in the context of, right, be very clear, in understanding what it is, because if we understand what it is, then we understand how to address it. So, in anything in psychology, anything when you're dealing with science or anything like that, right, there's a hypothesis, okay? And that hypothesis is a prediction of, okay, this is what it is. And once you identify what it is, now you can, brother, black man, now you can say, okay, this is what it is. So now let me now maneuver, right? Let me maneuver now, right? In order for me to get the bag, in order to succeed, in order to win for my family. Because if I go in, although sometimes, let me let you know something. Sometimes ignorance, it can be blitz, okay? So I'm going to make sure I'm clear with that, right? Sometimes being ignorant is bliss, meaning that because you don't know something, you can do things and you can get lucky because you don't know. Because you don't know, you can get lucky and you can, come into opportunity because you don't know, right? But tonight, I really, 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 really want to talk about the black tax. Okay, the black tax. Now, people have heard this word before. Okay, they've heard this word before, but a lot of times they think of it in a sense of, man, somebody's doing something to me, or maybe somebody has, how can I put this? Somebody has taken something away from me, or it's coming at me. But really, what it is that there is a understanding. There are not just systems in place, but because of some of the what I would call the history of what has been built, we have to maneuver in certain ways, okay, that are just different. Now, before we put up these slides, before we put up the slides team, I want to talk about something. I'm just going to give you an example of what I would consider a black tax. Okay. Okay. Now, this is in part, before I start this, it's in part in any country where you're dealing with majority minority, right? Majority minority, you can have this. Okay. But I want to deal with us because I'm talking to us. So anybody who's on this, and you're not of African or black descent, that's cool. You can stay around. I want you to listen in, okay? But I want to talk to us about these nuances, okay? So here it is, right? I want to talk about the last 5 presidents, okay? And generally talk about their backgrounds, right? And just their backgrounds, the last 5 presidents, right? And look at that, and if right, they would have been elected if they had been someone else, right? So we're going to start, okay? We're going to start, right? Let's start with Clinton, okay? Clinton, cool brother. I mean, some people say Clinton was the first black president, right? Right? Arkansas swag, killing out the game, right? Good dude. I met Clinton before. Phenomenal guy, has charisma, going crazy, right? Clinton, obviously, we know, right, was one of the challenges he had, as brilliant as he was. He dealt with a ton of scandals, in a sense, even when he was governor, right? Dealing with indiscretion, all that kind of stuff, right? So Clinton, right? But brilliant guy, Oxford, all that stuff, brilliant guy, right? We had G.W. Bush, okay? G.W. Bush obviously came from the Bush dynasty, right? The Bushes, kind of collective, right? And that legacy. But Bush was pretty much known. I knew guys that went to school with Bush that I worked with, or that mentored me, and he was just known. He was a total frat boy. GW was known to just kind of like, he was pretty much, drank a lot, did a lot of stuff, everything. Didn't really do as well with the Texans team, you know what I'm saying? The baseball team, or the Rangers. But he made it to presidency. After Bush, you had Obama, right? Pretty much Obama's biggest scandal had to deal with his pastor, pretty much. I'm talking about before they became president, right? Pretty much his pastor was his biggest, which was, kind of made up, but that was his biggest scandal. You go after Obama, you have Donald Trump. We know Donald Trump's history, right? Past, all of that, right? Again, I'm not here to talk about policy. I'm talking about the history of the person before they ascended into office, okay? And then you have Joe Biden, right? 50-year politician, go in and he's it. So just speaking of those, right? My thing is, the question I want to ask you, if Barack Obama had the background, right, similar to Clinton, GW, Trump, or even if we talk about Biden, right, even with Biden, because you got Claiborne, who's a long-time politician. You had John Lewis. You had a lot of civil rights leaders, right? Would he have ascended? Okay, would he have ascended? Now, because he did ascend, and I'm so proud of the brother, it's hard to say that, but given his background, it was pretty squeaky clean. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is that what we see sometimes in the Western markets, and what you have to understand, brothers, which is so true, okay, And you have to we have to acknowledge this, accept it for what it is. When you are in countries, especially for those who are not on the continent, but even those on the continent, when you are in countries where you are the minority, okay, and when you are in a position, for many of us in the diaspora from our history, okay, you have to model such a high standard example, okay, in areas that others may not have to, who are part of the majority. I'm going to say that again. When you are in the minority and you are in countries, right, like many of us are, you have to exhibit sometimes a higher standard of operating, right, than others who are in the majority. Now, you can sit back and you can say, man, that's not fair. You can sit back and you can say, man, hey, that ain't cool. You can sit back and you say, man, look, more power to you. But I would dare to say to you that it is better and easier to say, okay, this is what it is. So because that's what it is, how can I maneuver around that and move through it? Now, if you're one of the brothers that are here and you are called to social activism, you are called to knock down doors, you are called to be the brother that we elect president next, you are called to that. Let me be very clear to you. If you are called to that, then we want to get behind you. We want to support you. We want to help that happen. But mostly we're going to be talking about how that deals with our capital, how that deals with our businesses, and how we're able to win and navigating all these nuances, okay? Right? But I wanted to give that presidential example because Barack Obama, no matter how you agree with his politics or not, he had to operate at such a high operandum in his position as president of morality in order to get to ascend first to ascend to that place, and then Obama, right, had to keep it so clean. Look, I work for the brother, right? When I tell you we didn't do nothing, when I tell you it was like, yo, nobody wants to do anything wrong to bring shame, because there was an understanding that anything that he would do or get caught in, right, would be extra exacerbated. It would be exacerbated. I remember when he wore a tan suit. The brother wore a tan suit, and it became the tan suit scandal, right? Okay? He wore a suit. So what I want to say to you, brothers, that are listening, and those who are not black who are listening, there is a certain standard that has to happen for us at times because we're in countries where we're the minority, and because, and again, I'll get into identity later, because there has been an onslaught attack on what it is to be black. Now, brothers, if you're feeling what I'm saying, and if you're following me, give me a 1 in the chat. I just want to know where we at. I know you guys was listening. That was my intro, right? Okay. That was the pastoral intro. Okay. That was the intro, but give me a 1 in the chat if you're following me, if you're jabbing with me, because I want to know that you guys are with me here, right? And if you've experienced, I want to know, brothers, Daniel, thank you. Marlon, thank you. Trey, hey, if you've experienced, brothers, this black tax, I need you to put a 1 in the chat. If you have had a situation where you've like, yo, you did the same thing as somebody else, but your consequences were more grave, the opportunity set did not, because, and you say, man, because the reality, brothers, and the younger you get this, and the more you can kind of navigate, okay? All right? Ralph, welcome, brother. Love to have you here. Hey, it is real. Understand, okay? It is real. And many brothers who've been way before us to tell us about it, right? But it is a real thing. You can go get the same degrees, go to the same schools, do all the same things. And you should do it. Listen to me, brothers. You should do it. If you get a chance to go to Oxford, you go. If you get a chance to go to Princeton, you go. If you get a chance to go work at the top corporations, brothers, go do it. But please understand, do not expect the same opportunity set as those others unless it's in their interest. And I'll get into that later. But what I want my team to do, let's go into real quick some numbers. I want to go pull up the first slide. I want to pull up first the income slide. Let's talk about income. And look, this is obviously geared towards the Western world and towards America, but I want us to put up the income slide, please. All right, so here we go. Oh, that's the wealth. Thank you. Income and wealth slide. Thank you so much. Now, I want you guys to look at this. This is as of 2020, the source, but they pulled data in 2016. These numbers have not really changed. This is Black, white, Hispanic. This is for brothers who are in the motherland or overseas. This is how they gauge us, particularly in America, right? I know Canada has some different metrics and Brazil has some different metrics, but they're all pretty much the same. And what this is talking about, I want to first look at the right side if you can, brothers, right? Income, okay? So I'm just going to say for easy purposes, we're about, for every dollar of income that is in a white family, okay, we are about 50%, right? 50% of the dollar, right, that is in a black family, okay? That is the income. Now, when we get to wealth, this is where it gets really crazy, because what is wealth? Wealth is kind of what is your net worth? What is your assets versus liabilities? What is your debt, right, versus income? It's everything added together. And obviously we can get more into that. Again, I think a lot of brothers here are smart. I can get into that, but I don't want to get too deep into it. But when you look at this chart, here's the part of this chart that's really crazy, okay? When you look at this chart, how is it that right now, in all honesty, if it's dollar, if our income is about 50% of the dollar, then why is our wealth 1% of the dollar, or a penny on the dollar? Okay, the penny on the dollar. Why is that? Now, I want you guys to participate in the chat on this part. Right, we're putting our thinking caps on. Maybe I'm going to put you into Harvard. We're going to put it in collegiate level. For those brothers that didn't go to school, I still need to know your opinions on this, what you think, because you have insight that brothers don't have. Okay, why do you think this is? When you look at our income, why is we're 50% on the dollar of income, but 1% on the dollar of wealth? Give me your thoughts in the chat. We're 50% of income, but we are 1% of the wealth. Why is that? And look, we're going to get into some stuff here, but I want to know, give me some stuff in the chat. Let me know what you think. 50% of income almost, but we're only 1% of the wealth. Why is that? Why do you brothers think that is? Got a lot of smart people in this room, on this chat. Why is that? All right, we got some stuff coming in. Got some answers coming in. All right, okay. So, like, my brother said, long established wealth by white families. We are consumers, not producers. We spend on consumable items that have diminishing returns. Group economics and the lack thereof. Thank you so much, Daniel. The brother's coming in. Why is this? Why does this exist? Okay. All right. Now, this is what I'm going to say to you guys. Ready for this? Here's one of our challenges. And one of the challenges you have to be, remember, this is about 1 million black men is about freeing us psychologically, empowering us economically and financially, right? Because we don't own property. Thank you for that. And also, how do you create wealth for generations? 7 generations of wealth creation. All right, here we go. Ready for this? Here you go. When you make it, so let's say we got the brother. Remember I said, hold on. Remember I said it says $1, right? And then it says we are, again, I'm going to say 50 cents. The reason why I can say 50 cents, y'all, I can say 50 cents is because y'all know y'all got a lot of cash. We hold on to a lot of cash. We got a lot of what I call those mattress millionaires, right? We got mattress millionaires, okay? All right? So although we have this difference, okay, you know what happens to us a lot? Ready for this? How many brothers in here? How many brothers in here have to support or help out other people in the family besides your immediate family? I need you to put a 1 in the chat. Okay? I need you to put a 1 in the chat. So, one of the reasons why there is a black tax, right, is that because our income, right, sometimes it's half, right? That means, hold on, watch this, right? That means for the brother here, you're making $80,000 a year. The brother making $80,000 a year, right? And could be making $160,000 a year. Hold on, listen up. Okay? Listen up. Your cousin, your friend, your aunt, whoever that person is, they're making $40,000 a year, and they should be making $80,000 a year. Okay? Oh, hold on. You ready for this? Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Ready for this? So now your 80 is really like it's covering two people. Okay? Okay? Oh, wait. So, right? We're going to say you. We're going to say aunt. We're going to say brother. So we got aunt, bro. We got you, aunt, and bro. Okay? And I'm going to say you make 100K, aunt makes 50K, and bro makes 25K. Okay? You got that number, right? That equals 175K. Okay? Now, because you're operating at a 50%, right? 50% of what a white person does in the country, okay? Which that would make that number actually, right? It should be 350, right? But you don't get that, right? Now, the three collective have to operate on 175. And here's what happens. In many cases, you're expected to operate at the same level as the majority and the counterparts. And although they get 50% more, you're expected to operate at the same level. So what happens? What happens, unfortunately, brothers, right, is that you end up in a situation where, okay, you are the 100K brother yourself, or whatever the case, 50K, 20K, and what actually should be taking the 350 should be taking care of all three people, but it's only the 175. So what does that do? It puts more stress and more weight financially on you. Now, in much of a case, we do that. Why do we do that, brothers? Why does that happen, right? Part of it is the ethos. When you go over to the motherland, Africa, we are, right? Thank you to Daniel for joining us. Hey, we are part of the village. We believe in the village, right? It was very known in the African diaspora, 100%, where we have the best and the brightest. They go out, okay? And then they bring back the knowledge, or they go out, make the money, they bring it back to the village. Because it was an understanding. W.E.B. Du Bois called this the talented 10th. He called it the talented 10th. That was a very known thing, right? To be very, very African. Now, some people say, well, David, you know, David, now. I hear you talking about black people, and you're talking about brothers, and you're talking about all these things, David, but I have something to say to you. We have many people from many countries in America and Canada and Brazil and across the diaspora of the Americas, right? And many of them are making more money per capita, right, than even white folks. I love this question. Right? So let's take that. Let's take someone who's of immigrant descent, immigrant, because African Americans are not necessarily immigrants, right? No, Canadian Africans are not immigrants. They actually were just here, slaves, whatever the case is, right? So let's talk about that. How is that, right? How is that folks from Asia, India, all these places they come, they actually end up making more money, right? Doing very, very well, right? Here we go. You ready for this? It's something called, and I want you brothers to know this, so when people start to talk this stuff to you, now, again, I'm not here to blame game. This is about empowerment, but you cannot be empowered if you don't have the right education. You cannot have the right movement if you don't have the right information. Okay, what that is called is, okay, it is called, and write this down, It is called selective migration. Selective migration. What does that mean? That means, brothers, if I took the top 1% of African Americans in America and I sent them to Thailand, let's say a big group of the 1% of African Americans went to Thailand. Do you think they would be successful? Do you think that they would probably be more successful than an average native Thailander? I don't know. I hope I'm saying that correctly, right? Or New Zealander? If I took the top 1% and they all decided to migrate or travel across the world for opportunity, do you think that they would do well? The answer is yes. Right? Why? Because they are already in the top 1 or 10% of their native land. And so what America has, what Canada has, what even the UK have, okay? When we talk about this, you cannot compare. It is not fair to compare those of native descent to a country to those who immigrate, especially those who are not coming because of, asylum and persecution. They're not coming because of, some type of natural disaster or whatever the case is, right? They are coming because they selectively migrated to that other country, okay? Because this is one thing, brothers, you're going to get hit on. They're going to say, oh my gosh, hey, guys, I want to know if you're feeling, I see a lot of people, hey, the eyeballs have been steady, so they ain't been moving. So y'all guys are in this. If you're feeling this, let me know. Put a 100 in the chat. If you understand what I'm saying, put a 100 in the chat, okay? So they are selectively coming to a country. They're saying themselves, hey, I see opportunity over there. I could do that opportunity here, but I'm going to get a higher return on my labor, okay? So I'm going to go to America. Hold on, listen to me. I'm going to go to Canada. I'm going to go to UK. I'm going to go to China, whatever the case is, and I'm going to make capital over there, right? Build it up, either live a life or I'm going to take it back home. Now, I see some brothers putting it in and they're like, hey, I've seen this in my life. And so what I want you to understand is that is selective migration. Do not, for those that are natives in their land, do not compare yourself to that. Okay? Now, fantastic. They can participate. They can work fantastic. But please understand there is a difference. There's a difference than someone in the top 1% of their country deciding to go to a different country to go work than those of the native descent in that country. Now, second part of the black tax. Let's talk about this, right? Let's put up the other slide if we can, team. The other slide talking about income and, was it income? The other slide I sent over. Let's get that slide up. Oh, I think it's about talking about inflation. Thank you. Here it is, guys. Ready for this? So, remember I told you guys, right? Now we have an income disparity, right? There's income disparity, right? Now, who does inflation? Good old inflation. What is inflation? Inflation is, right, as time goes on, there's something called time value of money. I don't have time to go through what that is today, but you Google it, look it up. I expect you to be smart. Google time value of money. As you deal with inflation, okay, right, it means that over time, prices of goods, services, everything else goes up. On average, and my team put this in, if you can put this on there, on average, inflation on average is about 3.5% a year plus the cost of energy. Inflation is, right, 3.5% plus, put that, the cost of energy. And a lot of people forget this, okay? They forget this piece of it. Inflation is 3.5% plus the cost of energy. So when you're looking at things and how things operate and run, right? When you're looking at prices, you're not just paying for the cost of things for inflation, but also it is the cost of energy, right? Fuel, all these type of things that help inflate our prices, right? So the middle class squeeze. The reason why I want brothers to get wealthy, the reason why I need you to make a bag, the reason why I need you and your family needs you and your kids need you to figure out this game and make it happen is because in the middle class between 50,000 and 175,000, you are being squeezed. You are being squeezed. So now, oh wait, not only do you have the black tax, then on top of that, you are dealing with the natural causations of inflation and the cost of energy. Okay? If any brothers are in here and you feel the squeeze, I want you to put squeeze in the chat, right? If you have felt the squeeze, I want you to put squeeze in the chat because, hold on, it ain't just the brothers. Thank you so much, Anthony. This is very enlightening. So good to hear that. Thank you, right? It's not just the black tax that you make 50% of the income, right, of the other majority. It's also that you're also battling inflation. You're also battling the cost of energy. So you're battling the cost of energy, you're battling the back tax, right? And all these things. Hold on, I'm gonna keep on going, but I want to bring it home for you guys tonight. We're gonna have a good time. Now, put up that last slide, right? We're gonna break this down. This is a good breakdown for talking about all the areas. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Anthony, Marcus, Theon. Thank you, JT. Thank you for being here, brothers. Let's go through this, right? I got this from they had this on an agency thing, but I wanted to show. I thought this was a good slide. I saw this and I thought this was really good. In 1990, again, this is a 30-year period. And again, this is why I'm so huge, brothers. We got to get the bag. You got to figure out how, either in a corporation, in your own business, your side hustles, you have to focus. You have to make it happen because of these things. You ready for this? Look at a 4-year college tuition. This is a state school. A 4-year college tuition at a state school. 1990, over 4 years, was about $30,000 a year. Let's do the math on that, brothers. What is that? 8,000? About 8,000 a year? What is it today? 25,000 a year. Average home price, 101,000. What is it today? 400,000. The cost of gas, a gallon of gas. All of these have gone up 3 times. All of it gone up 3 times. Hold on. A child. Hold on. Look at the. Put that back. That side back up because this is huge, important. To have I'm telling you right now. You know what I'm for? I'm sorry. I believe with all my heart. Well, something that would change not only our communities, but it would change things big time. I wish that I could. I wish that I was Dictator Dave. Okay, if I was Dictator Dave, you would have to get a certification before you were able to have a baby. Okay. How many brothers are with that? I'm just curious. How many of you? I think you need a license or something before you bring a child in this world, because 0 to 18, it was 120,000. That's food, shelter, clothing. This not even including private school. This is just like food, shelter, clothing over 18 years. Okay? Today, it's about $250,000 a kid. Okay? You should not be having 7 kids and you make $50,000 a year. You got to be out your mind. Okay? Okay? You got to be out your mind. Like, look how costs have increased. The average new car, $9,000. Today, an average new car is about $45,000. So the point, I'm showing you this for a reason. Is to let you know that, hell, hold on. For all the brothers and the people that say, you know what, I got time. For anybody in your life, brother, listen to me. Anybody who's black, y'all can put the screen back on me. I'm about to bring this home. Anybody in your life that knocks your hustle, anybody in your life that says to you, man, you working too hard, anybody in your life that's saying, man, you need to just slow down, stop it. I'm all for, man, look, peace and harmony. I'm all for it. I'm all for doing some self-care. I'm all for that. Get a massage here and there. Get a little pedicure there and there. You know, keep your feet nice. Don't have them all crusty. You know what I'm saying? Look, I'm all for, hey, take a break, take a vacation, right? I'm all for get your mind right. I'm all for it. Listen to me. I'm all for it. But anybody telling you as a black man, right? Anybody giving you sympathy, giving you apathy, sitting back and saying, hey, you know what, man, you should take it a little bit easy. Hey, life is good. Hey, you should chill out. You should, man, have you gone crazy? If you telling me that, I know you got 100 million sitting in the bank, because there is no way dealing with the black tax, dealing with inflation, dealing with the cost of energy, dealing with home prices rising, dealing with educational prices rising, dealing with gasoline prices, dealing with college prices, dealing with all the things that we have to endure and we have to deal with. And they're telling you to slow down? Let me tell you something. They're telling you that because they have the wrong information. They're telling you that because they don't understand what they're really up against. They're telling you that because, you know what? And I'm just going to say it like it is. They're telling you that because they themselves have not risen to the occasion to understand what is really happening. Or they're telling you that because they don't really want you to win and they don't want you in the race. But I'm here to tell you, black man, there is a black tax. But with the black tax, there is black opportunity. We're going to go through this 3-part series in this, right? Hey, if you're feeling this, man, give me a 1 in the chat. I need to know if you feel empowered, get a 1 in the chat. I want you guys to be educated, right? But also, I want you guys to be empowered, because if not, what will happen is you will wake up at 55, 65 years old. I'm going to tell you something, man. Look, I don't talk much about him, but I'm going to tell you a story about my father. And I love my father. I hope my father's here. I love my father. I love him to death. My father migrated from Mississippi. His father, my grandfather, was a World War II hero. He actually sniped. I don't know the exact number, but they say he was a sniper at like 17 years old. He enlisted at World War II, even before he was old enough to fight. But he had an amazing eye. He was a sniper. He killed the numbers in the hundreds of Nazis, right? The hundreds of Nazis he killed. He protected his battalion. My grandfather, he got a Purple Heart, which is one of the higher honors. He got a Medal of Honor. He got a Purple Heart. My grandfather also got a few other awards. He was so happy to be home when he came back from the war. He threw off his medals. His brothers and other people took the medals. They still got them today, right? I think one of my uncles has his knife, his World War II knife. My grandfather came back after fighting for his country at the time in the 1940s, and they forced him into sharecropping. Now, here's a man, was bright, was smart, but was void of the opportunity to even own his own land, right? They forced him into sharecropping, which a lot of people have that in their history, sharecropping. If you don't know what that is, that means that you were kind of like an indentured servant. You were an indentured servant to mostly those in Mississippi of white descent, and you had to work the land and you were paying a lease on the land. So it's kind of like a big payday loan. Okay, you work the land, you put the food out, and you paid a high price, right, for that. My grandfather ended up dying pretty early. Long story short, my father, they went up to Michigan to get away from the KKK. Later on, they came back down to Mississippi because my grandmother felt homesick, and then she came back down, okay? My father, as soon as he got the first chance, he migrated to Chicago. He said, son, the first chance I got, right? Oh, Shelby, Mississippi. Yeah, actually, my family's from Shelby, Mississippi, believe it or not. The first chance he got, he came to Chicago. My dad was a janitor, Okay. Took the job, janitor. He also worked as a bank teller, and then he got a job at the utility company. Okay. He got a job at the utility company. Okay. Utility company, being a meter reader for the light and utility company, right? Father was a good man, married my mother. They were both virgins when they got married. He was a godly man, God-fearing man. Unfortunately, my mother came down with obviously a heavy mental illness in the 80s and 90s, schizophrenia. It tore our family apart. But he was a good man, good man. My dad was very adamant. He said, son, you're bright, you're smart, everything. He said, man, I need you to go get a good job with a good pension, right? I need you to go get a good job with a good pension, son, right? Because that's something that's safe and secure. It's safe and secure, son. I need you to go get a good job with a good pension, right? You got real good book smarts, but you need some more street smarts. He used to say stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Love my dad. I said, Dad, I hear you. But Dad, I got some different information. What was that different information I had, guys? I understood that the pension systems were way overextended. I understood like the whole pyramid scheme to it and how it was all set up. I understood because I understood the black tax. I understood what existed, that even in those jobs, which aren't bad for him, that wasn't bad, but I understood that, Dad, you were getting paid 50 cents on a dollar to what many of your white counterparts were getting. Okay? My dad went, he retired. Super happy for him. He retired from the light company, everything else, right? He's getting his pension. Guess what, guys? It's not enough. Why? It's not enough because of inflation. I talked to another brother that was here. He's a fireman. He's going to be retiring soon, right? You know what he said? He said, man, I'm watching my brothers retire as firefighters. And you know what? They're retiring as firefighters and they're having to go get jobs with the pension to keep up with the lifestyle that they had as a firefighter because they can't get overtime. They can't work the extra hours. They can't do the extra stuff. So they retired technically with the pension, but it ain't enough money. Why? Because the pension doesn't keep up with inflation. And also the pension doesn't take into consideration your black tax. Now, brothers, I'm here to put a fire under your belly. If you ain't heard it, you heard it here first. I'm here to put a fire under you, for your family, and those you take care of. You gotta go make it happen. Why do you have to make it happen? Because you are responsible. Look, you didn't create the system, but you are created to navigate it, okay? You did not create the system, but you are created to navigate it. And so even today, I've had to come back. My dad had to come and say, son, hey, son, you got a couple thousand I can get off you real quick? You know what, Dad? No problem. You know what, Dad? I got you. Why? Because I had the right information. I understood the game. I understood what was happening. And when you understand the game, gentlemen, you can play it. So look, we're going to, over the next 3 times we meet today, we got Thursday and we got next Monday. We're going to be gearing up for Father's Day. We're going to do some special stuff for Father's Day. But I want you to know, okay, I'm going to need your help with that I'm here to educate you and empower you. I don't want you to be a fool, okay? I don't want you to go out there thinking, oh my gosh, hey man, I'm a vice president, a senior vice president of so-and-so corporation. I'm, Dave, hey, man, look, black man. I don't care how many titles they give you, okay? I don't care how much, I don't care. Like, let them celebrate. Look, I was on the company, infomercial, right? I was on the thing. I've seen it at the top. I said, look, I'm telling you right now, okay? Listen to me. You have to figure out, we have a strong community of brothers here. At some point we're gonna put something together. We're gonna bring all of us together. I know a lot of guys have been asking about that. We're gonna bring us together from around the world, around the country, all into one place in order to celebrate, make connections, make some moves, make some stuff happen. But I want you to know, do not, right? God is not mocked. Do not be fooled that this does not exist for you. That this does not exist. There is a real tax, and that's why you have to go all in. You know what I'm saying? All right. All right, look, I got a thing. For 3 weeks, he says, I've been waiting for a loan to start my own construction company, and I put up 10% and still can't get the loan. Still can't get the loan. Hey, look, I get it. Hey, we have to go the extra mile. So let me tell you something. JT, let me give you some advice on this. You ready for this? See how this go. When it comes to loans, I'm going to give you guys an inside secret, brothers. You ready for this? When it comes to loans and we're dealing with banks, unfortunately, a lot of times, unless that bank already has a program set up where they're specifically giving out, there's something called CRA credits, which they have to, it's the Community Reinvestment Act in banking. You can look that up, Community Reinvestment Act. A lot of times banks need to satisfy their CRA credits, and so they start to push out loans to particularly Black people in America, right? I don't know the other countries, but I know America, okay? You have to build the relationships and find out who's over some of the CRA, Community Reinvestment Act, who's over that. Who's a community person, right? And you have to build the relationship. When they give out loans, right, it's like the 3 C's or the 5 C's. They look at your character, they look at your credit, it's like character, credit, I'm trying to think, it's character, your credit, and a few other things, right? But it's all built on relationships. A lot of times these loans, right? Okay. A lot of times these loans are literally decided by a committee at the bank. So what I would say to you is that whether it's a community bank or regional bank or whatever the case is, who do you know? Who do you know that sits on the board at the bank? He's the president of the bank or whatever the case is. And you take your listen to me, brothers. Listen to me. Yeah, collateral. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's character, credit, capacity is collateral. Collateral to like what assets do you have? Listen to me, brothers. I've seen this over and over. When it comes to these loans and it comes to getting the credit you want, right? You have to follow, right? You have to follow where the CRA credits are, and you have to figure out who you know. Who are you connected to? Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Charles, for that. Who are you connected to at the senior levels of that bank? Because there's a committee, the way banks are shaped. And look, we're going to go through that lesson. We're going to talk about how banks are, how they give out loans, how that stuff happens, okay? But there's usually a committee, and especially loans over a certain threshold, the loans have to pass the committee or the group, okay? Usually. Now, the bigger banks, most of it is all an algorithm. And that's why I kind of don't like them. Although when the algorithm is in your favor, you can get a whole lot of credit. Like I've gotten hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit, right? On a new business because I was able to maneuver the algorithm. Okay. Okay. All right. These are things that we do, just so you guys know. If you're interested, a team will reach out to you. We have a kind of a weekly mastermind call. These are things that we do, just so you know, JT, that we do on that, right? We do have a cost associated with that because that's a lot more depth information, kind of more mentorship, but it's like a weekly call that we do with folks. But I want you to know, JT, don't be discouraged, right? Get the list of banks, right? One thing we do have, just I want to, team, if you can put this up here, we did offer it after our first event. We do have a Black business funding book. It's something that we do offer. We do sell that, right? We've mined all the areas where Black funding is. We got over, I want to say it's over like 100 or even 200 places that they're literally looking for Black folks to give funding, venture capital, debt, loans, all of that stuff. If you are interested in that, please put that in the chat and the team will get to you. Or I think they're going to put the text number up. You can text, or you know what? The text that everyone gets when we go live, you can respond to that text and say, hey, I'm interested in the Black Funding book. They'll send you a link. You can buy it, and then they'll get that over to you. But that is very comprehensive. It's in Excel. It's everywhere where you can look and get funding. That's funding for Black businesses and for Black people. But with that, guys, look, I'm coming up on the hour. I just want to let you guys know, man, this was fun. We're going to be doing Black tax, Black identity, Black opportunity. I want y'all to cue the video. Hey, Black man, look, this is, oh yeah, here, they put it up, all right? Text that, okay? Text that for the Black Funding book. I think it's, I want to say it's like $149 or something like that. It's definitely worth it. We've already done the research. We've done the mining. That was a cost to us. So we have to, have a cost associated with it because that's a cost to us. And we got to, make sure we fund ourselves. But I want you guys to have it. If you want it, text it, Black Funding book. It's something that I help put together to help us find areas of funding and people that are looking for us. Look, it is easier for us when we do funding with places that are already, this is one that's when we talk about success, like succeeding as a Black man is a little bit different because we have to, the game is just a little bit different. It's easier for us to get funding when they're already looking for us versus trying to get funding and trying to convince people to do business with us, right? It's easier to go for places that's already looking for us than trying to convince folks to do business with us, right? I'm all for, guys, how can you navigate this, avoid, more of the Black tax and get more of the Black opportunity? Next week, we're going to talk about Black opportunity and Black identity on Thursday and Monday. Guys, I love you guys. Please text it if you're interested in that. I appreciate you for bringing that up, JT. Hey, like I always say, man, I'm in this to win it, baby. I'm going to see you at the top because the bottom is just way too crowded. Black man, I love you. Hey, we're going to make this happen, free us psychologically, empower us economically and financially, and wealth creation for 7, count 'em, man. Wealth creation for 7 generations. All right, Black man, peace. Calling all Black men.
Calling all Black men. This is a call to action. An action call. Calling all Black men. This is a call to action. An action call. For 1 million Black men. I am Kwesi to put you on a call path to win. This is not a Zoom call or a call on Facebook Live. Though we are virtual, we are live. Not a call on TikTok like MLB Black men, we are on the clock. Not a call from Snapchat. Move back my bat. We are on first base to Isaac Hayes Jr. fan base. We have an eye line on third base. Grand Slam, not a call from Instagram, as we don't need validation with blue checks. We are the true checks. We do checks. We write checks. We are the right checks. We do family checks. We check in on our sons and our daughters. We are a Black man who walks on waters because our children like to FaceTime. We are Black men who FaceTime. Let's FaceTime. This is still not a call from an Android or an iPhone. It is extraterrestrial to phone home. I know sometimes Black men, we have to travel around the world to be appreciated at home. But you are not alone. You are in the each one, teach one green zone, where the elusive weapon is the truth. We are the Black truth. We are Paul Pierce, the truth. We are the loot. We are 1 million Black men strong. We will get along as we landline. We walk across their blue and red line. Now this call is from a landline with rotary numbers and a coiled cord. We are 1 million Black men on one accord. This cord and phone transmits a dial tone, whether a local call or a call of long distance. Regardless of the distance, it connected us. Social media unconnected us. Our homes need us. They soul feed us. And not just food that give us niggas-itis. I write this, our homes bleed, sweat, tears for us. Black men, it is up to us. It is on us not to just procure the bag. Buddha bless one, share it with me. Get the info under your afro, bro. In establishing sovereignty to be a one united bank for economic just us. Black men, we must set up a family trust to an estate, because right now everything is at stake. Because we can't lead from behind, from your behind to your mind. They are public with their relevance as they use artificial intelligence in this age of information. Elon Musk bought Twitter to gather more of our information. So if I have to be the Starlink, I will break the Starlink for 1 million black men. But I won't condone our culture with misuse of our information. So I grant you David Anderson for this financial literacy education. DA went from shy Southside streets to JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs on Wall Street. From Chicago State to Harvard. At 19, he fathered the economics in his family house. DA served in President Obama administration at the White House. He lived in China for 3.5 years, learning the Chinese economy, the renminbi. To the British pound, black men, let's get this pound. To the European euro, we NBA step into the euro. To the Uganda shilling, black men, let's be empowered by our billing and be willing to learn and understand. Money is just a tool to build unshakable wealth. 7 generations deep, that DA will teach that we can compete in an economy beyond that's local. Black men, we must think global. So I present to you David Anderson to put you on this financial literacy path to win. Welcome to the movement. 1 million black men.